How do you get around town? Hot air balloon? Unicycle? Unicorn? The answer depends a lot on the time you're traveling through. And right now, it's time to spill the tea. The 1800s were a time before cars and before planes. The fastest way to get around was in a train on land or on a ship at sea. But trains worked best over long distances with lots of people or stuff on board. When it came to getting around town, people fell back on their historical favorites, horses. Of course, then and now, people like to show off. Folks spend a lot of money on fancy cars today, and in the 1800s, you might spend that money on a fancy horse or an even fancier carriage. But this is nuts! The Barnum Museum actually has 2 show carriages that P.T. Barnum had built for 2 of his most famous performers. One for Charles Stratton, aka General Tom Thumb, the other for George Nutt, known on stage as Commodore Nutt. Can you guess whose was whose? Yep, Commodore Nutt rode in the big walnut. These performers were famous for their small size, and these miniature carriages were a way to attract attention on the streets and increase their fame. Arriving in a city on tour, these carriages would parade through the town. Crowds would gather to gawk at the miniature vehicles and their famous passengers. As the performers disappeared into the venue to prepare for the show, these carriages might still be parked out front, attracting even more curiosity seekers. And once the show started, these carriages were sometimes rolled right onto the stage to present their performing passengers to cheering crowds. In reality, these tiny vehicles were uncomfortably small for their occupants. Their main purpose was just to serve as a rolling advertisement to P.T. Barnum's show. The carriages are preserved today at the Barnum Museum in downtown Bridgeport, where they testify to the creativity of the Greatest Showman and the fame of Mr. Stratton and Mr. Nutt. So, what's the takeaway? The idea of a signature vehicle long predates the Batmobile or the time-traveling DeLorean. And even if it was an uncomfortable, bumpy ride, it sure beats walking. But now I want to know, what's your signature ride? So, swing by on your jungle vine, surface your submarine, fly down in your helicopter, or just scroll down and let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.